Good morning and g'day, mate, and welcome back to our fine factory here in Satisfactory land. Today's episode, I want to do a couple of upgrades, some major upgrades. Also, I want to really establish exactly why I chose to build a base right about here. A lot of it has to do with the proximity to a whole lot of resources. Also has to do with the proximity to a very important resource, probably the most important resource inside the game. But before I explain that and also how we're going to upgrade power, I need to ask a very quick question. A very quick question being, well, can I borrow a like? I just like to borrow a like. I like to borrow a like early in the video. If you're not happy with the video, you didn't enjoy the video, well, then you don't need to find out what the most important resource in the game is. All right, first thing I want to do, whilst we wait for the pod to come back, it's got about a minute left on it, is in the last episode, we unlocked the radar tower, but I couldn't build one because I lacked, well, all the bits and pieces. I've had a bit of time between episodes to do a bit of handcrafting, so I want to get you up and built because you're short. Have a jetpack, cool. Yep, we should be fine. And up we go. Oh, yep, mind your step. Yep. Oh, good. Is now when I tell you I have a fear of heights? Yeah. Yeah, I know it's a video game. I know, like, I could fall and respawn and everything. It doesn't matter. I still have a fear of heights. Okay, so this is our radio tower. Radio tower means we can stand up here and have a look down upon the factory. We can also have the freighters come back for re-entry. We missed it. I was too worried about not falling off the edge, but this is our wonderful radar tower. Our wonderful radar tower does a couple of things. The first thing it does is, I can't click on it. Can I turn off player? Can I turn off those? Can I turn off those? Can I turn off players? That's what I want. Radar tower. So if I click on the radar tower, we can see the area of effect that it has, and inside that area of effect, it tells me there are 5 sloops. There is, 5 spheres, 1 hard drive. Five spheres, 1 sloop, and 11 slugs. There's also a whole bunch of friends. So I need to go out and say hi to a whole bunch of friends. Yeah, that's a lot of friends. A lot of friends. Okay, so it tells me what's in the local area. This is going to be very, very important, and I'm going to want to put these down basically everywhere we're going forth. I want to have as much radar coverage as possible of the map so we can see what resources we've tapped, what ones we haven't tapped. It now means that whenever I bring up the map, I can see that, you know, there's copper right there, and I can see what purity it is from just mousing over it. There's SAM ore over there, there's oil over there that I haven't tapped. There's all sorts of resources, so that's the first thing I want to do. Second thing I want to do is jump to my death. Oh, there. Cool. Second thing I want to do is head into the MAM and unlock railway signaling. Because we've got railways done, but not signaling. Boom!
Milestone reached. Train signals placed on train rails can control and improve train behavior. This helps to avoid events where multiple trains attempt to occupy the same physical location.
Okay.
For information related to earlier train events, please refer to your employee non-disclosure agreement.
Yeah, that doesn't at all sound like that word has been swapped. Okay, so that's the first thing I want to do. Second thing I want to do is I want to talk about the refinery, the all-important refinery. The all-important refinery does a number of things. The main thing it does is, well, oil. Let's start with oil. So in our last episode, we unlocked Turbofuel. Now, Turbofuel is a highly efficient fuel source, and it can be used to make power in something like a fuel generator. Very, very efficient, very, very wonderful, and something that requires we add, well, fuel and compacted coal. We already have compacted coal downstairs. If I just step out to, I don't know, about here somewhere, hopefully I can see it. Yeah. There's our turbo fuel lines bringing in both copper and sulfur and running them into a whole lot of coal generators to give us a whole lot of power. But with the refinery, we can, improve that by mixing our fuel with our compacted fuel to get turbo fuel. We could also just make fuel. We could also make, well, fuel and polymer. There's lots of things we can do in here, but the other things we can do is make things like steamed copper. Steamed sheets, yes, because currently I am making, constructor. Currently I am making copper sheets with 2 copper ingots in, 1 copper sheet out. Whereas if I went over to a recipe like steamed copper, I'd use 3 ingots in with some water to get 3 sheets out. So it ends up being a 1 for 1 rather than 2 for 1. Also, you are 22.5 per minute. You're just 10 per minute. So it's actually significantly faster as well. So what I want to do is I want to go to places like, well, right here. Is it here or is it here? It's here. Yes, you're making copper sheets. I want to go to somewhere like where I'm making copper sheets, which is currently just bringing in copper ingots. Can we do one of them? One of them. Get some height on this problem. Bring in copper ingots here. Well, copper ore, smelting it into copper ingots, taking those copper ingots over here, making ourselves copper sheets. But if this is the particular box which they pass through before they go off the back to AI limiters and they're all consumed, and this is my problem. I don't actually have any copper sheets. I actually have a second box, which is like a personal box that just goes into the network where 50% of the supply goes to, so I can make sure I have copper sheets for things like research and building. But what I want to do is fall to my death. Okay, that's right, it didn't hurt. What I want to do is I want to look below ground, because below ground I have a whole lot of room. And this section here was intentionally chosen because if we look at the refineries over there, they're very short compared to, well, the total height of this area. Because copper sheets, rather than existing right in this area, I want to put in refineries, and I want to put them here instead, directly below where they're being built currently, and make them down here. So rather than the copper ingots going up through the floor and being turned into copper sheets and then continue on their merry way, the ingots are going to come down, get turned to sheets here, and then at the end of what is the existing build, go back up through the floor. Which means I need to have, well, for this particular recipe and also a lot of other recipes we're going to come across, a copious amounts of water. Conveniently, I chose to put my base somewhere where there's copious amounts of water, which is one of the reasons I intentionally chose to build my base here, because there is copious amounts of water, which means that I never have to worry about trying to find a source of water. It's always very, very local. And that gives me more options when it comes to a lot of different recipes, an awful lot of different recipes. Can I seal that floor before I fall through it? Because I definitely know how that'll happen. So that brings me on my next list of things I want to do, and that is, well, back to our refinery. You're back, are you? Hello? Hello? Oh, shit. Hi. Oop, don't land on me. That brings me to the next thing I want to do, which is pipeline engineering. I can't put stuff in yet. Hurry up, land faster. Land. Land. Come on, you got this. Okay. Cool. Which brings me to my next thing, which is pipeline Mark 2.
Milestone reached. Pipelines and pipeline pumps can now be upgraded to Mark II. They are like Mark I, but better.
Yes.
Pipes seem to be objects of fascination to humans. In fact, there are recorded instances of humans doing nothing but thinking about pipes for hours.
Cool. So, our pipeline Mark 1 had a flow rate of 300 cubic meters per minute. Our Mark 2 has a flow rate of 600 cubic meters per minute, which is exactly twice as much. So, what I want to do is I want to build out a build to take care of our power using something like the Turbofuel recipe, which needs fuel, which means we need to make fuel, which means I need to make either residual fuel or fuel with polymer resin. Yeah, I need to make one of these two. That says alternate, so this is a base recipe. Okay, so I need to do something in my recipe choices to make sure that I can make a whole lot of fuel to make a whole lot of power, because power is okay so far. Where is a power pole? Oh, the outside of this wall. Can I just drag a power line from there to say here, so I have something quick and easy to click on. Power. We're currently producing about 4,000 megawatts, and I'm currently consuming about 3,000 megawatts. But if I start going around and I start upgrading and building in extra infrastructure like, well, just the copper sheets, these are 30 megawatts each, and I'm going to build 12 of them. So 12 times 30 equals 360 megawatts worth of power for quick, easy maths. Also, well, down there in the same area where we were just looking, I also have our nobelisks. I obviously need to make smokeless powder, so I need to have another refinery. I also need to bring heavy oil residue all over here so I can make smokeless powder. Smokeless powder means I can now make the cluster nobelisks, also exploding rebar, and also rifle ammo. These are all things I'm going to want anyway, so there's a couple of things that I need to do. But I also want to, like I said, look at my power situation. I want to make sure power is covered. The last thing I want to do is have to run around try and boot things back up with biomass burners. So what I want to do is I want to look at power. But to do that, I think we need some visual aids. So if we come back to our Satisfactory modeler from earlier, which we used to work out our oil production, we can see that I have, this is my main power source right here. So our main power source is coal and sulfur coming in, getting turned to compact coal, and running about 45, 46 compacted coal generators. I also now have the petroleum coke up and running as well, which gives me about 60. Let's go back to game, type in 60 times by 75, about 4.5 gigawatts worth of power. And I have, according to this, I have capacity about 4.5. Yes, I have about 4.5. So we have a little bit of leeway. We can, assume that something's not working perfectly, blah, 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 blah. But what I want to do is I want to look at oil, because I can burn oil petroleum products for a whole lot of power. So I would like to have a new node. We're going to call this oil, because this is what I'm going to be bringing in. Crude oil. Okay, a 600 pipe, because now my pipes do move 600. Now I can turn that into heavy oil residue, which is going to give me some polymer. Polymer I can turn to plastic, rubber, doesn't really matter. We can turn some into plastic, some into rubber. There we go, we get a little bit of plastic, a little bit of rubber, everybody's happy. On top of that, I can take that residual fuel and turn it into, residual oil, turn it into residual fuel. Take the fuel and turn it to turbo fuel with my compacted coal. So rather than running 325 down here, we make 355 up here, and then run that off to a turbo fuel generator and get 60 turbo fuel generators. The turbo fuel generators, they run power. Okay, I didn't really want you up in the air, but whatever. They run through a burn rate of 7.5 per minute, and they make 250 megawatts. So if I can build 60 of them, that is 60 times 250 is 15 gigawatts worth of power. Okay, from just relatively simple recipes. This one cost us a hard drive in the MAM to unlock, but it was the unlock recipe, not a throw a hard drive in and press the random button until you scan enough hard drives and get the right alternates that you want. But if I was to go through and scan through and find the right alternates, I would have a few different options, and that's really what I want to look at, because I can take my heavy oil residue and I can run it with diluted package fuel, which means that I need to, go through a few steps of the process. One is I need to bring in water from a packager. So I need to package up water, which is going to be a joy. And I need to then unpackage that fuel so I can get it back into a pipe and then run it, exactly the same as I did before, into here. The biggest difference being that I've taken my heavy oil residue and I've added water to it to then double its mass, I guess you could say, when it gets turned to package fuel. If I just ran this into residual fuel, I get 500. If I run it into here, I get 1600. So it's basically 3 times the amount of fuel. It does mean that I have a really odd number at the end, and I don't really like odd numbers at the end. This is going to be all, you know, decimal points and all sorts of ickies. I'd like to change my maths on my input a little bit, and I'd like to only input, 540 crude oil. If I input 540 crude oil, I then need, well, 24 of these guys, 24 of these guys, 64 of these guys, 160 of these guys. Let's try this again with actually putting in the overlays so you can see what's happening. Okay, if we come back to our Satisfactory modeler that we've used previously, and we start from the start. So from the start, doing compacted coal, there it is, and drag that into a compacted coal generator. I am currently doing about 320, no, about 15, no, it's about 12, about 13 of them. Okay. I'm doing about 13 of these guys running flat out, making us compacted coal, which is running into a compacted coal generators. On top of that, I also have petroleum coke. I also have some petroleum coke going into some amount of petroleum coke generators. I think it was 15 is the total number I came up with. So I have about 60 generators in total. If I look at 60 generators multiplied by 75 megawatts each, it means I should have about 4.5 gigawatts worth of power, which is roughly what I have. Okay, so that's what we have currently. Now, what I'd like to do is I'd like to boost this system. And the way I want to boost this system is now we have the Pipes Mark II, is I want to have oil. And if I take crude oil and I say a 600 pipe, so i.e. a full pipe's worth, a full Mark II pipe, and I turn that into heavy oil residue, which is a standard recipe, it's not an alternate recipe. That'll give me the polymer resin and also going to give me heavy oil residue. This, the polymer we can turn into, just the same as we did previously, into plastic and or rubber. Okay, plastic, rubber. Yeah, plastic and rubber. We can turn it into plastic and rubber. Well, actually, that's not that recipe. Okay. I can turn this into residual plastic and residual rubber. Okay, so I get a little bit of plastic, a little bit of rubber from that waste product. But the 800 heavy oil extract is what I really want to talk about, because that I can turn straight into residual fuel. Residual fuel is, if we go back to, where did I put it? Right here. If I go back to here, this is a recipe I have unlocked. So this is something we can just do, take in the heavy oil residue, get some fuel. If I take that fuel and I turn it into Turbofuel, which is something I can do currently with our current technology. We had to unlock the Turbofuel recipe here. We can do that, that's not a problem. That's gonna give me, well, 444.44 Turbofuel. If I run that into a Turbofuel generator, I'm gonna get, say, 60 of them, okay? It does mean I need to have 355 compacted coal. I've got about 325, so this should be a straight swap. It does mean I'm going to lose out 45 generators. 45 generators are 45 multiplied by 75. I'm going to lose out on 3.3 megawatts worth of power, but then I'm going to gain 60 times 250. I'm going to gain 15 megawatts. So it's a good increase in the total amount of power I can produce. But there are different options I could be using, providing I got some alternate recipes. If I was to take my heavy oil extract and I was to run it through diluted packaged fuel. Now, diluted packaged fuel is a little bit different, is it needs water, and then it outputs the fuel in a package, which means I need to package up water to bring it in, which is something we can do. It's something we can do very, very easily. It is going to require an awful lot of water, but more importantly, we've turned 800 heavy oil residue into, well, 1600 packaged fuel. Now, packaged fuel, by all means, I'll have to unpackage, But once that's done, I have 1600 fuel, which then runs straight to there. And that gives me an awful lot of turbo fuel generators. Sure, I am using 3 times the amount of compacted coal, which sort of explains the difference. But the other thing is this is full of messy maths. It's all like non-even numbers. It means I have to overclock and underclock and do all sorts of things. If we changed our input down to 540, then I have some much more even numbers start to end. Also means that you producing 160 means, well, not 60 times 250, it's 160 times 250, which means that is 40,000 megawatts worth of power. That is 40 gigawatts worth of power from Turbofuel. So this is what I want to set up. There is a catch with that, of course. That is, I don't have this recipe. So I need to find that recipe. I desperately need to find that recipe. I also have some other recipes I'd like for these two, but we'll get to those shortly. So that's what I want to do. But before I do that, I want to head in here and definitely unlock the Blueprint Maker Mark II. Then concrete. We keep copious amounts of concrete right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So I want to get I want to get this unlocked. And computer. Yep, there's some of the network. Like I said, I've been busy handcrafting between episodes because I just want to have everything unlocked. All right. That is the Blueprint Mark II unlocked as well.
Milestone reached. The Blueprint Mark II improves upon the Mark I in every dimension, except for the metaphysical ones. This improvement was made available due to complaints from pioneers about other pioneers not being capable of managing their space efficiently.
I can manage the space.
We listen to pioneers, always.
I can manage the space. It just ends up looking like spaghetti because I'm managing the space, nothing else. So what I want to do is I want to come over here. I want to come over to where we've built our oil power plant, well, our oil refinery currently, and I want to give it a small facelift. Now, it does mean I need to go find more hard drives. Actually, speaking of hard drives, ma'am, I don't have any active, but I do have some that have already processed. Nope, none of that helps me. I've got no hard drives to scan. Okay, so yes, we need to go hunting for some hard drives. I also need to... Let's remove that. I need to rebuild this. I need to rebuild this in some way, shape, or form where it's going to fit the new persona, the new plan that we have. Now, in saying that, I do have oil nodes. 1 oil node, 2 oil node, 3 oil node. So I do have some very, very localized oil. Do that again. Yeah, so I have some oil there and I have some oil there. So I have plenty of oil locally. So what I want to do is I want to go off and do some looting and scooting, find some bits and pieces, upgrade the copper sheets. Also, definitely get smokeless powder up and running so I can make some more friendly ways to keep the friends about, and then I need to do the exploring for some hard drives. Yes. So let me go get started on all of that, and I'll see you, well, after we've made some progress. Hard drives are scanned. So we've been doing some scanning, and I think I've got all the recipes I need. Actually, that's the recipe I'm going to need in the future. We'll just take that one for now. All right. Hard drives. No. Do I have any more in here? Helps if I can spell. Hard drive 7, yes please. Can I get one of you on scanning as well? All right, so first off, copper sheets. Copper sheets are now down below. So as you can see, upstairs looks basically the same, but if I, where's my jetpack? Can I put my jetpack on? Oh, that'll probably help me. As we can now see, copper sheets are now heading downstairs. They're being turned into, no, copper ingots are heading downstairs. They're going to be turned into copper sheets. And at the same time, I don't want to fall too far down the floor because I don't want to have to climb back up. But as we can see over here, we have cluster nobelisks because smokeless black powder is being made over there, which means under here somewhere. Oh no, it's down, up. I need better fuel. It's down one more floor. Down one more floor is a very, very long pipe that's bringing across the diluted package fuel. Diluted heavy oil residue. That's the one. All right. Meanwhile, refinery. So, recipes that were needed. Recipes that were needed was the heavy oil residue alternative. So I did actually need this recipe because it's going to give us more heavy oil residue. We could make plastic, we could make rubber that would give us a little bit of heavy oil residue, but this one gives us an awful lot of heavy oil residue. So that's the first recipe that we needed. On top of that, we needed the alternative diluted package fuel. So I had to search for that one, and don't want the Turbofuel alternative because although it's an easier step in the recipe chain, it's not as profitable. We very quickly go back to our production chain, and can we just slide all this over a little bit and compare recipes? If I remove that link, and we put that link into turbo heavy fuel. So we go straight to turbo heavy fuel and then put that out to there we go. Turbo fuel generator. So if we just do heavy oil residue straight into turbo fuel, that's going to give us about 80. Okay. The other option is before this. Link that back in there. If I disconnect that, we can go for we can make rubber directly and make 360 heavy oil residue, or if I delete that, we could make plastic, which would also, well, that now unless it's 180, so it's even worse. So we definitely want to have this our first in our recipe chain, and this one needs 576 compared to if I plug that one instead, this is 960. So this is an awful lot more compacted coal, but it's also an awful lot more fuel generators, an awful lot more. So we now have all the recipe pieces to snap together, so we can actually do our our turbo fuel. Oh, actually no, there was one more alternate. That was the one we did up there with the heavy oil turning. So heavy oil residue straight to turbo fuel. Yeah, rather than this one. Okay, so we have a plan. Now, plan is all well and good. Next step is, well, putting our plan into motion. Now, plan into motion is going to take a little while. Why? Because there's an awful lot of machines we need to put together. An awful lot of machines. So, it's such a distance away. What I want to do is I want to play with the advanced game settings, reload the game, and then what we're going to do is we're going to turn on flight mode, because I'm going to need to have the altitude so I can explain this to you. And although I have the jetpack, I'm going to need a lot of altitude. Flight mode, please. Thank you. All right, so if you turn on the advanced game settings, it does remove the achievements. Be warned, you can no longer get achievements. Or also, the game will warn you when you complete the game without having, with the advanced game mode settings on. As well, this is a side save, so I don't really care because everything we're about to do is going to get deleted. We've used this multiple times throughout this series already, just so I can demonstrate things easily and quickly. And in fact, you can even turn on, well, I could turn on free build mode, but I'd be throwing out the save afterwards, so I don't really care. If you turn on things like free build mode, well, then you run into a situation where, well, after you turn on advanced games mode settings, you can't turn it off. So it's once on, never off situation, at least for that save. Therefore, I take a fork of my save, I turn it on, we play with it for a little bit, and then I go back and load the save without that setting turned on and play everything I just did again. Anyway, back to what I was saying. What I need to do is I need to put in a couple of items. First one would be fuel generators. 4 fuel generators. Okay, I would need some fuel generators. That's 4 of them. So if I need 160 of them, that means I need to put in, well, that's 4. I need to have 20 rows of this. 20 times 4 would be 80, and then I'm going to want to have 2 rows of 20 of, where is that one? That one. 2 rows of 20. Can I change you to blueprint mode? And I put you there. Cool. I need to have that 20 long, and I need to have that 20 long. So that's step number 1. Step number 2, if we go back here and we work from the end, well, we work from the end backwards. I then need 64 Turbofuel refineries. So Turbofuel refineries are blueprints. They are, I've already made up all these blueprints. So where are we? Fuel to Turbofuel. That's the one. And you are going to be bringing in compactor coal on the left and outputting Turbofuel on the right. That is a 6 size blueprint on the right, a tier 3. This is not a tier 3, this is only tier 5, but you're going to go there. And I need to have 64 of these. This is a blueprint of 3 of them. Yeah, so I need an awful lot of these going backward. Probably again. Actually, can I just, no. Can't have blueprint build mode, please? Okay. Where are we? Fuel to Turbofuel. I probably want to have blueprint mode, blueprint, yeah. No, you won't let me select whole blueprints? Okay. I probably want to have 2 rows of this. So 2 rows, 32 long. That's awfully long. Also, of course, it's coming in at nighttime. Okay. On top of that, I need to have the packaged fuel. I need to have 24 packages to package up water. Then I need to have 24 refineries to take our heavy oil residue and our packaged water and then mix 2 together to give us packaged fuel. Then I need to have 1,440 unpackers to unpack all the fuel and put it back into a pipe. Also, you might notice that like some of these numbers are going to be more than a single T2 pipes worth. So we would also need to fuel to Turbofuel, heavy oil residue, diluted fuel, that's the recipe. I also need to have a number of these guys, and I can't see where things are being placed. It's all right, these are just rough approximation, yes, or something along those lines. So this is what I've made as a complete blueprint for this particular module, which is going to be, that's fuel, that's water, and heavy oil residue. Yep, so heavy oil residue comes from the right, we end up with fuel on heavy oil residue comes in from the left, we end up with fuel on the right. So this is a pre-made module with the idea of, well, water needs to go in the blue pipe, fuel, heavy oil residue. So those pipes should be purple. They're not purple. They should definitely be painted. Here, can we just pretend really quickly that they are purple? That one. Yeah, not really the purple I wanted, but it's close enough for right now. So heavy oil residue comes in there, water comes in there. You are gonna need some packages, some empty canisters, so you can pack the water, so you can put it in the machine via belt. And then on this side, we need to unpackage the fuel and put it back into a pipe. And then I need to do something with those packages. In my infinite wisdom, they just loop straight back under the whole build and back in the start. This is why this is the only blueprint that's actually up on a platform. So I can do that belt work underneath because, well, I needed somewhere to do the belt work underneath, and that seemed like the best way of doing it. So I need how many of those? I need 24 of those. That's not too bad. That's, 4 blueprints. So I just need 6 blueprints long. And then we need to have, ma'am is done. Okay, I'll be with you shortly. Then we need to have, what was the next one? The next one was heavy oil residue. So heavy oil residue, that one. And I'm out of materials. See, this is why I sometimes turn this on, so we can just go, yep, okay, cool. Let's not get in the way of a good story. Okay, so can we have blueprints, heavy oil residue, which has materials out. So you need to face that way, and you would need to line up with that blueprint in some way, shape, or form, but the blueprints are different sizes. So we're just going to throw you there for right now. I'll have to line all this stuff up later. So you're going to take in crude oil, and then you're going to give us out the polymer resin and the heavy oil residue. And if we come back to here, I have 720 heavy oil residue, which needs to go into this one, which is then going to produce 1440, which is more than 2 600 pipes out, which is then going to go in this one, which is going to give me 2 600 pipes out. So it's a little bit of building. And then, of course, you need to have 500 and something crude oil in, which... can I grab you, please? You, oil extractor. Oh, I have an oil extractor right here. Logistics, pipe, Mark 2. Yoink, yoink. And I don't have any power shards on me. Can I get shards? It should be as easy as you're already a pure node. No, you're not a pure node. There we go, 600. 600 is the amount I need. And technically, we're working off 540. 540, hello? 540, enter. There we go. Clock speed of 225 is what I want. But realistically, I could take, one is 30. 2. And crank you to 600. Yep, I could just make a little bit of plastic, a little bit of rubber out of that 60 crude oil. I could do something else with that 60 crude oil by just making sure it's plumbed into a system, a standalone system that doesn't interfere with anything else. So this is the plan. I just need to have an awful lot of material to get it done because I have free build mode on. Can I turn that off so we can get an idea of costs? This blueprint is 40 engines. Yeah, engines are probably the slowest to upload and be made, or 168 sheets, which I just upgraded. Your 214 sheets or 40 engines. Your 30 engines and 118 sheets. You're another 30 engines and 118 sheets, and you are 60, and you're another 60 with, 300 sheets between the two of them. And don't forget, I need, well, this is 8. I need 160 of them. So I need 20 times this. I need, this is a set of 3. Oh, this is a set of 3 and 3. So it's a set of 6, and I need 64 of them, which is a lot. And then I need this one. We need another, well, this is a set of 4, and I need 24 of them, which is, again, a lot. And this one is another set of 4, and I only need 18 of those. So that one's not too bad. But it means I need to get an awful lot of materials to put together in a nice, neat sort of way. And then I also have to do just a tiny bit of belt running. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go load back the save in, well, its original format and find out what's in the MEM, and then do just a little bit, just a tiny bit of side construction. I think we're good. I think we're good. I think we're ready. So, couple of things. First off, we have our little ammo factory over here. We have we have black powder. We have over here. We have smokeless black powder, which is coming in from that pipe there. That pipe there has our, what is it called? The heavy oil residue coming across the map. Hello, please stop that. Thank you. Heavy oil residue is coming across here, mixing with black powder to make our smokeless black powder. Smokeless black powder is coming in to make our turbo rifle ammo and also our cluster noblisks. And there's a few of those in storage, just 1 or 2. You know, in case I need to go out and say hi to some friends, which is definitely something we need to do in the next episode. We have, as covered before, the copper sheets right here. We also have just a tiny bit of backup battery power, which is both good and bad. It's good that I have battery backup. It's bad because it's in my way, because each one of these is a row of 10 assemblers making compacted fuel, and 10 multiplied by 25 is 250. The problem is our turbo fuel, if we do a quick refresher, needs 960. Which means it needs 2 480 belts, which I don't have due to, well, somebody building a pile of batteries in the way. So I'm at the point where I need to turn the build on. I need to turn on at least half the build so I can take this and double its length, and then I have enough room to make another build making more compacted coal. Also means I need to shut down this power plant. So what I've done is I have 2 smart splitters, 1 on each line, that is bringing everything to the left, and then the center being the old power plant is running the overflow, And there is a box and a half worth of storage here. So there's enough to run the old power plant for a little while, but actually let me go back to a battery. But I also have a second problem. Our current production of power is 5,000 megawatts. Our max consumption when the new build turns on is 11,000 megawatts. Our current capacity is 5,000 megawatts because, well, I don't actually have any any turbo fuel plugged in. Like, it's all piped together, it's all connected, it's just missing the compacted coal. Now, I have gone over and hand-fed bits and pieces of it and feathered it on and off to make sure that we're sort of buffered up on our fuel and our diluted heavy oil. Both those pipelines should be full. The water should be full. So it should be a case of connect this belt, which is going to rob the old power plant of any coal, but should get the new power plant up and running. And then once it's up and running, in theory, everything works fine. In theory. So, can we just plug that into there? And miss our jump. But you've started getting compacted coal in. You've already got fuel. I already covered that. But also, this is 18 per minute. What's the crafting time? 16 seconds. So it's 16 seconds crafting time. Okay. Where's a good spot to look at this from? On top? On top? On top. On top on this side. So I have one pipe of 600 turbo heavy. There we go. I missed the jump. Okay. One pipe of 600 turbo heavy fuel this way, which runs into the generators at the back. I also have it connected at the other end, also running out the front. We can see it just there popping over the top. Can I jump, slide, jump? And yeah, this is... I need a better jetpack. I need more speed. Okay. We also have a second one over here. So I've basically taken a 600 pipe and split it two different ways. Also made sure there was a pump on here. In theory, I don't need a pump because it's all level, but as you guys are... Well, none of these lights are on yet. Let me guess, you don't have coal yet? A one. One. You need 4. Oh, no, I really want a power pole. Power pole, sir? Sir? That's a power pole. Okay. We're still fine. We're all good. We're all good. Oh, there is some fluid. There is some fluid. Okay. This is why I have pumps, because the fluid is so minor. I don't want it sitting here. I want it pumped out as soon as possible. So you need to go over that, and then over that, and then the pump picks it up. Yeah, I really want the pump here. Look, it won't matter after the whole system's buffered. But at the moment, because of Satisfactory and head pressure, this is filling up. But until this fills up and pushes its way up, like, and over this, and fuel flow down here, pumpy not working. And the same problem at the other end. Yeah, maybe a small design flaw. A tiny design flaw. Hello? You're empty again. The liquid's just sloshing back and forth in the pipes. Oh boy. Power pole. Power pole. There we go. Consumption. Capacity. Okay, capacity's gone up a little bit. That implies that somebody's turned on. Do we see any lights go with green? Nope. And up. There's some green at that end. Quick, run. yeah, this is insulated steel pipe, right? The electrical cables won't short out on the steel pipe. Okay, so we have some of the generators are running. Okay, cool. Oh yeah. Okay, no, you're off again. Okay, you guys are running. Yeah, three, and you need 7 cubic meters per minute, which means you're gonna turn off, right? No, you're still running? Okay, they are filling up. Everything should be okay. So, in theory, everything's fine. In theory, the whole network runs. Consumption keeps going up. Max consumption hasn't moved yet, but half the plant's built and not running because they don't have enough compacted coal. Yeah, so that's a feature, we'll call it. You're running. Pump, what are you doing? Flow rate 3 per minute. Flow rate off. Yeah, there's plenty of turbo fuel right here. $50, $60, $40, $30. Okay. It's definitely running. Half the bill's running. Half the bill's running so far. All right. So I think we're okay. I think we're okay. As for you guys, okay, as for a few things. First off, the power switch. Power switch, a priority power switch. This being turbo fuel, this is on priority number 1, i.e. this is the most important thing. It runs at all times because it actually makes power. No, there's only a couple of you guys running because you guys are all backed up, but you are producing blue stuff. And blue stuff should come out here, the polymer resin, and it should come out here, and it should just be, well, disposed of. I'm just sinking it for the moment. Well, that's not a lie. I'm sinking it. I'm also turning it into, can I jump through there? Thank you. Also turning it into fabric. So we are stealing some of the polymer resin, turning it into fabric. The rest of it should get sunk right here, which looks like it's off because... yeah, this build's barely functioning. Well, that's not straight. We'll come back and fix that later. So, you're barely functioning because we're still waiting on the whole turbo fuel build to get up and running, but I have confidence, somewhat, that it should... oh. It's definitely kicking in. Okay. Production is going way up. All right, so... soon that should be running. Also means that I need to, well, straight this belt rather than it going cross country, have it go in a much more straight direction. After I go over there and I double the amount of coal that or compacted coal that we have, plug the second compacted coal into here, which will run the second power plant, which also needs its pipes plugged in as well, and a whole lot of paint applied. And then after that's done, I think we're ready to go. Now, we do have all the polymer resin that we're currently doing nothing with. I do need to do something with that rather than waste it and sink it. Also, on top of that, I need to do something about having a little bit better plastic and rubber overall before we get too much further into the game, because we're going to need a whole lot of plastic and rubber in the not too distant future. But I need to leave this here. Like I said, next episode, a whole lot more hard drive hunting, and also that means more lore. We need to go off and do a little bit of exploring. Either way, I need to call this video here. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Do hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next episode where lore, explore, and also take out the new toys, because I want to see what happens with a cluster of obelisk and a couple of friends. Either way, I'll leave it here. Thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. See you in the very next video. All right, bye.